Okay, third time's a charm. Let's try this. Let's jump into here. I think we're okay. Jump into our chat. Testing, testing. Okay. I am going to just double check my sound. No, it's full volume, but I'm not getting anything. Well, I'm not getting much. Pain in the butt. Let me know if it's too quiet. Maybe it's just my audio. Yeah, that's it. All right, perfect. Okay, I'm here and we're going to take off this and here, and we're going to jump into, we'll get back to these comments if anybody joins me, and I'm going to be recording this. Perfect. And what I want to cover is this roadmap of how I think Grasshopper can be made available as a tutorial to people that are new to Grasshopper, but they can see where it comes from, what you can do with it, and where you can push it to. So initially, I've got the section in the canvas right here that's going to basically take the Rhino API right here, Rhino API, and deal with simple geometries. And we're going to chase that back to point creation and vector creation and things like that. But what is documented throughout here, and I did this afternoon at 2 o'clock. I'll do it again at 9 o'clock tonight, but I want to make a recording that I can put on YouTube so people can see what I'm working on. And this is totally open source. Anybody can join me. Anybody can play in the sandbox. Anybody can come at it from either end. So if you go into vectors and you get your 3-point, you've got your documentation on how to do things. We're not actually going to script any of this Rhino Common into Visual Studio Code. And I've got 4 Visual Studio Codes here open. So if I take a look at this one, and I'm running a hops server, I can take that over and use the hops node in Grasshopper up here and pull in all of these functions. However, this one's based in geometry, and I think this was my, I can't remember which one this exactly was. It might have been the Master A series. But all of this is pretty simple. There's a few samples from Rhino McNeil's, and then getting in the curves, going down, pulling up some different geometries as you go, different functions, making them working. Yeah, you'll run into a few bugs as you pull in some outputs that aren't hops points or hops vectors. So I've left a lot in comments, and I'm still debugging certain things. I'm dealing with intervals. This file is actually pretty big. As I creep through it, you'll see I got probably about 1,400. Oh, maybe I got more than that. About 1,500 lines of script to deal with simple geometries. A little too simple. So the next one over is this one that I thought, well, let's get in and let's play with hop servers and generate a whole bunch. And that's the curve one, similar to what I did before, and see how far down I go with this one. I'm just trying to hit another keyword to see where it's at. What did I do? Surfaces. This one is the same. I think that's the same one that I just opened up. So let me try and jump into another one. Let's jump down to this one. This one is focused on interval. Okay, got to come down. Planes, still the same geometries as I'm generating. Why am I keep pulling up the exact same scripts every time? This one I didn't open. This one should be, this is crazy as I get into it. This one is, let me see what I did. Minim, max, average, building different types. I actually did some exercises in opening. This is all dealing with NumPy. All right, perfect. I found it. Data science, as I come up here. I probably did another one working with libraries and different libraries. This will start making sense in a minute. Sorry, it's a little jumbly. I'm just trying to find all my scripts. AP, I wish I had them listed differently and it would make a lot of sense. That's the final one. That's the second one. This is the one that was dealing with more data science and trying to get in and read different files. So as I went in, started with a certain amount of geometries, I was like, well, wait a second, can't we do things with all these beautiful text files and use libraries in Python? Can't we just learn Python? And this is the big monster one that I think I did. No, it was a shorter code, 400, 500, and I probably stopped around working with read line text and working from text files. Uh, Needless to say, getting these Pi apps up and running is a little crazy, and trying to bring them in the Grasshopper, I've got all the other files online that I've done on GitHub, and sorry that was a little chaotic, but what I decided will be best is take a look at the documentation, find the simple geometries, and if they're simple enough to use the vanilla nodes, to take the documentation and show you exactly how to make points, exactly how to make 2D points, exactly how to use the functions for finding distance, and how to do some simple move transforms, and then do the same thing with point lists, and then use some grafting and flattening and moving so you build some nice three-dimensional point clouds. What you would do with adding points, removing points by a variety of different ways, and transforming through rotations, because there's so many wonderful transforms to choose from over here in Euclidean without getting into the more complex functions of morph. Then having bounding boxes that are generated, because bounding box is something that you usually do to a point cloud, and then get down into the point planes. And I'm just going to keep adding and adding and adding. And of course, with that, I want to do some fun things in the sandbox, like this oscillation to the geometry. And then if I get a series of points and planes or curves, I can start playing with my assistant Sergi to build a robotic path and actually show robotics. Now, while he's headed down that path of sandbox and Robbie the robot, I'm going to call it, I'm going to head back into Visual Studio and get active NumPy, Pandas, Scikit-learn, and TensorFlow, and Keras, all that I was doing with the GH Python remote node last summer. So this is a way to run faster and parallel processing, and then for the people that really want to get into machine learning, we're going to start with just reading files. And I think I moved a few of these scripts through. I don't think I opened the last one. Maybe I should have. Let's just do a file open folder and go into maybe the first one I did. And this is where I was just a little jumbly because it wasn't following pattern. Let's take the master list here, go into the source files, the servers, the example, and open that one. Let's see which one opens up there. And it could be a pretty, I think this is the monster one I did. So literally got in here and got 5,000 lines of script plus, and ended with Lunchbox plugin and machine learning, where I'd have to go. And of course, getting this far into a data science book for dummies and putting it into the hops node and making functions for it, reading Excel documents, is going to lead you back to the more complex plugins. But this one stays focused pretty much on reading, using data science for dummies, going into Antoine, which is cool because he was online with me today, which was awesome, and I gave him a little highlight of playing around with his scripts because he helped me out, and I didn't get into the details of that. He definitely knows hops better than anything I know. And then pandas, and we'll go back up and take a look at advanced NumPy. We'll take a look at nodes for NumPy. Let's take a look at NumPy continued, and this was the big monster that I really put an effort into. And then meta programming was something that I was interested in as well. Intermission, I put in a bunch of algorithms, and then prior to that, I literally was just kind of pushing through modules and collecting modules, collections module. This is part 2 of dealing with regular expressions. And I think this entire script, this app, was dealing with the Python book for one-liners. Now that's a lot of data. I'm super excited. I'm going live all the time, and I'm starting to record this to show the kind of chaos to it. But honestly, it's a much simpler pattern. These are the type of files that I'm going to put in front of engineers, architects, high school kids, even elementary school kids to some level, because you're literally just dealing with point and plane geometry before making it more complex. Haven't even gotten into curves and lines. So down here, as you're making planes from 2 lines, you're going to have to go and make some lines from 2 points prior to that. So very exciting. This is going to draw out into this kind of playground. I'm going to pull this over, and I don't think I have anybody live watching right now. But that's it. I'll try and make a little more sense of that. Come back on at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm going to try and go live when I can at noon Central Standard Time, at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and try and jump on at 5 if I can, so I can hit people all around the world. Shout out to Peter Davis. Shout out to Sergio Spinales, Antoine Mez, and a bunch of Belgium wonderful people have gotten involved. People are starting to get, this will be all open source. This will be how do we share these docs, how do we get these running, and how do we teach Grasshopper with good documentation and make it really worth playing around with people's personal scripts, like I said, and then doing something with robotics. So you're looking at taking Excel documents, CSV files, and programming it right through here so you can come out with tool paths to take to WAAM, welded additive manufacturing processes as well. So very excited, and maybe one day I'll be able to get access to more robotics or play around with people that have that, and maybe I can get back into people that really know how to scale and clean and wrangle data. But I'm going to sit here right in the middle where I'm comfortable as Grasshopper, that I've spent 3 years doing, and I hope I'm an asset to somebody out there. Okay, thanks very much for watching.